December 2025 has been a relatively quiet month on the surface for Jimin of BTS. There have been no official solo announcements, no confirmed comeback dates, and no dramatic press conferences. Yet, paradoxically, this calm has sparked one of the most intense waves of discussion surrounding his artistic future in recent years. Across fan communities, Korean media columns, and international entertainment outlets, a single question continues to surface. Is Jimin quietly preparing for a new solo chapter in 2026? The speculation did not emerge from rumors or leaks. Instead, it grew organically from subtle cues, brief comments, understated expressions, carefully chosen words, and a noticeable shift in presence following his military discharge. December 2025, for many observers, feels less like an ending and more like a threshold. Jimin's return to public activities following mandatory military service has been deliberately measured. Unlike sudden, high-profile comebacks, his reappearance has been woven into group-related schedules and carefully curated content rather than individual promotional cycles. This approach aligns with BTS's broader post-military strategy, reintroducing members gradually while maintaining emotional continuity with fans. However, even within group-focused content, Jimin's presence has stood out. Media commentators have noted changes in his demeanor, quieter but more grounded, reflective yet emotionally articulate. Rather than overt confidence, Jimin now projects composure, a trait often associated with artists entering a more self-directed phase of their careers. The first wave of speculation began with a few seemingly modest remarks made by Jimin during late 2025 content appearances. While he did not reference new music directly, his words carried weight. Phrases such as, "I want to express emotions that feel different from before. I've been thinking about how I want my voice to feel when people hear it. Time away gave me space to reflect on who I am as an artist." These statements were not framed as announcements, yet in an industry where every word is scrutinized, they resonated deeply. Entertainment journalists quickly pointed out that Jimin has historically used similar reflective language before major creative transitions. While correlation does not imply confirmation, the pattern was enough to ignite discussion. From an industry perspective, 2026 represents a strategic window. By then, BTS will have fully transitioned into its post-military era. Group activities are expected to resume at scale, but history suggests that solo projects will also play a key role in shaping the group's long-term artistic evolution. Music analysts note that Jimin's solo work has consistently demonstrated a distinct emotional identity, introspective, atmospheric, and vocally expressive. This positioning makes him particularly well-suited for a solo release that does not compete with group identity, but rather complements it. As one Korean music columnist wrote in December 2025, Jimin does not release music to fill space. When he returns as a soloist, it is usually because he has something specific to say. Another factor fueling speculation is the renewed interest in Jimin's solo catalog throughout December 2025. Data from major streaming platforms shows noticeable increases in daily streams for his past solo tracks, particularly those known for emotional depth. While such fluctuations often occur when artists return to public visibility, analysts note that Jimin's increases have been sustained rather than momentary. This suggests not just nostalgia, but rediscovery. New listeners engaging with his work for the first time, and longtime fans revisiting it with fresh perspective. Industry observers often interpret such patterns as early indicators of momentum rather than coincidence. One of the most intriguing aspects of the current situation is the complete lack of official commentary from HYBE and Big Hit Music regarding solo plans. In the K-pop industry, silence is rarely accidental. When agencies deny rumors quickly, it often signals false speculation. When they remain silent, it can indicate that plans are either in early development or intentionally undisclosed. This silence has been interpreted cautiously by journalists. Most reports emphasize that no confirmation exists, while acknowledging the timing and context make the speculation understandable. Importantly, no outlet has framed the situation as a confirmed project, maintaining journalistic responsibility while still recognizing the significance of the moment. Military service has historically marked turning points for many Korean artists, and Jimin appears no exception. Psychologists and cultural critics have long noted that enforced distance from the entertainment industry often leads to artistic recalibration. For performers like Jimin, whose career began at a young age, the experience can deepen emotional awareness and reshape creative priorities. Observers have described his recent appearances as more introspective, with a focus on authenticity rather than performance intensity. This shift aligns with global trends favoring emotionally honest artistry over spectacle. One notable aspect of this speculation cycle is the tone of fan response. Rather than demanding announcements or releases, much of the conversation emphasizes patience and respect. Many fans have publicly stated that they would rather wait than see Jimin rush into a project before he is ready. This shift reflects a maturing fandom culture, one that recognizes mental health, creative burnout, and the importance of rest. Online discussions frequently emphasize phrases like "when he's ready" and "his timing, not ours," suggesting a healthier dynamic between artist and audience. As BTS enters its next chapter, Jimin's role is widely viewed as emotionally central. Group dynamics experts and longtime BTS analysts often describe him as a stabilizing presence, someone who bridges intensity with vulnerability. This role becomes particularly important during transitional periods. A potential solo project in 2026, if it occurs, would likely reflect this dual identity, deeply personal yet inseparable from the collective narrative of BTS. If Jimin does release a solo project in 2026, its significance would extend beyond charts and accolades. It would represent a personal artistic statement after years of global success, a reflection of emotional growth shaped by absence and return, a signal of how BTS members may balance group legacy with individual expression. Importantly, it would also redefine expectations, showing that maturity in K-pop does not mean diminishing relevance, but rather evolving authenticity. Looking back, December 2025 may be remembered not as the month Jimin announced something, but as the month people began listening differently. His words were quieter, his presence was steadier. The noise came not from headlines, but from interpretation. And sometimes, in music and in life, the most meaningful transitions happen not with declarations, but with silence, reflection, and readiness. To understand why speculation about a 2026 solo project feels so compelling, it is essential to revisit how Jimin's artistic identity has evolved throughout his career. From BTS's early years, Jimin was often recognized for his expressive performance style, intense, emotional, and physically demanding. His background in contemporary dance shaped not only how he moved on stage, but also how he conveyed emotion. Over time, however, his focus gradually expanded beyond performance into vocal storytelling. His solo works over the years reflected this evolution. Rather than emphasizing technical complexity, Jimin increasingly gravitated toward atmosphere, emotional restraint, and vulnerability. Critics frequently described his music as internal rather than external, songs meant to be felt before they were understood. By late 2025, this trajectory appears more pronounced than ever. The Jimin seen in recent content speaks less about proving himself and more about meaning, connection, and emotional honesty. This shift strongly suggests an artist entering a new creative phase. While Korean media has approached the topic cautiously, international outlets have been equally attentive to Jimin's post-military presence. Western music publications have increasingly framed BTS members not only as idols, but long-term artists navigating sustainability and global fame. Within that narrative, Jimin is often cited as an example of emotional continuity, someone whose artistry resonates across language and cultural barriers. In December 2025, several international opinion columns referenced Jimin when discussing how K-pop artists mature after military service. These articles did not predict specific releases, but they consistently highlighted him as a figure whose next move could set a precedent. This global attention adds weight to the speculation. Jimin is no longer viewed only through a fandom lens, but as an artist whose choices may influence industry standards. Anticipation itself has become a defining feature of Jimin's relationship with the public. Unlike artists who rely on constant visibility, Jimin has demonstrated an ability to remain relevant even during long absences. This phenomenon, often referred to by media analysts as emotional scarcity, means that when he does speak or appear, the impact is amplified. In December 2025, the lack of concrete information has paradoxically strengthened engagement. Fans are not reacting to promotional material, they are reacting to presence, tone, and perceived sincerity. This emotional economy explains why even minor comments can generate extensive discussion. Jimin does not need to announce a project to command attention. His artistic credibility already does that work for him.